So you hear me well? All's good?
All good.
Perfect. So let me know.
Ready when you are.
So, Jordan, if I got it right, this is your 12th season in a Liverpool shirt. You have been through it all. You've got so much experience. So I was thinking, do you consider it as a superpower, something that might give you strength and inspiration in times of adversity?
I think, yeah, I've been at this club a long time, so I've got a lot of experience in different elements, good and bad, I suppose, throughout my career. So I suppose that helps in situations when things aren't going as planned or as well as what would have liked. So I try to use that experience and try to use it in the best way possible to try and help not only myself but my teammates as well.
I'm sure that fans would love to have this answer. What is your best Liverpool memory so far?
There's been a few, but I think the best memory for me would probably be lifting the Champions League.
And is it that game against Barcelona as well?
Yeah, that's another one that'll stand out. Definitely, the game before was an incredible game and probably the best game I've played in as a footballer.
And what about your debut in a Liverpool shirt? When you see your youngest teammates as Stefan Bajcetic or Harvey Elliott, does it sometimes remind you of that 20-year-old yourself when you joined Reds from Sunderland?
Yeah, I suppose a little bit. You know, at times it was a long time ago, but I obviously can remember how I felt to make my debut for Liverpool, and my first year especially at the club was pretty difficult. So again, I've got experience in that, and the lads that have made the debuts more recently and the younger lads have handled the situation really well.
And coming back to inspiration, now you're 43 points from 28 games. You are sitting 8th at the table. But 2 years ago, you had a similar record after 28 games. But back then, you have managed to collect 26 points from the last 10 games. So you kind of forced your way into the top 4. Do you find that inspiring?
Well, it shows that it's possible. And that we've been here before and we've reacted in the right way. Whether or not that means we can get top 4 or not, I'm not sure, but we've got to react and we've got to give absolutely everything from now till the end of the season. And if we do that and we start winning games, then you never know. But we can only concentrate on the next game that comes, and that's Arsenal, which will be a tough match.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to ask you. What is it about Arsenal? What makes them so good?
Everything, really. They're so good with the ball. You know, they move the ball really well, keep the ball well. And then without the ball, they're really intense, can win the ball back high up. They're really aggressive in the pressure. So every aspect of the game this season has been very, very good. And I'm sure it'll be again the same on Sunday. So we need to make sure that we're at 100% and we're giving up absolutely everything, and if we do that, then hopefully it can be a special game.
Is it actually the best opportunity to show that no one should write you off?
It's another opportunity to show, yes, that we can still win big games and perform against the best teams, but we need to do the talking on the pitch. This season we haven't been consistent enough. Yes, we've showed glimpses, but overall it hasn't gone the way we would have liked. So Sunday is another opportunity to try to get back and making that step forward and try to get back to what we used to do as a team and perform consistently.
Well, consistency is when you're performing at Anfield, because there you are a third team in the league, so your home advantage is really big this season. But when you're playing away from home, it's not that good. Why do you think there is such a difference?
It shouldn't be. At the end of the day, you know, it's a game of football. It shouldn't matter where you play, but obviously that's had an effect on us this season for whatever reason, psychologically or whatever it may be. But obviously we know our away form hasn't been good enough this season, which is ultimately why we are where we are in the table. But you know, it's not finished yet. We've still got games to come, and like I said, the next game is Arsenal. That we need to make sure that we're 100% to try and get the 3 points.
And when it comes to consistency, you're also one of the clubs who sticks to their manager, which seems to be rare this season. Jurgen Klopp recently joked about him being the elephant in the room, but I was wondering how important is it for you that this season you can rely on that kind of stability?
Yeah, I don't think that's ever been a question for us as players, you know. We know how good the manager is, we know what he's achieved at this club, and we've all been going through a tough time this season through different reasons, and it's through the tough times where you find out a lot about yourself and your teammates, and who can really dig deep and who can try to change the situation to make it better, and you know, this is when you find out the most in these difficult times. And then if you can get through this period, then you become even stronger at the end of it as a group. And hopefully that's what the aim is this season. And hopefully we can finish strong and come back next season and be even better.
And could you please tell us what specifically have you learned about the team, about you, or about Jurgen this season?
I think we'll have learned a lot from each other. For myself, I always try to improve all the time, every day, and there's things, of course, that I would like to have done better this season. But you know, you live and you learn from your mistakes, and you just try to improve all the time. And the most important thing is staying together as a group, and trying to give you absolute everything for each other when you get on the pitch.
Your last game against Chelsea, you were quite positive after that. So what do you think has changed in the squad?
I quite like the attitude and the desire against Chelsea to work and to run for each other. Yes, it probably lacked a little bit of quality within the game, but overall I like the attitude of the game from the team, and we need to do that again on Sunday as a minimum. And hopefully then we can add the quality with the ball and when we get into the final third to score goals.
And can you please tell us a bit more about that 77th minute when you shouted at Alisson? What was that about? Was it about attitude or something else?
No, I can't even remember what it was about, but things happen in a game where, you know, Alisson is an incredible person, incredible, for me, the best keeper in the world, so it was nothing big, but we just had a discussion, and when you're in the heat of the moment in the game, you know, it can look quite intense, especially from my side sometimes, but you know, that's what we try to be the best we can for the team. We try to help the team as much as possible, improve and demand from each other, and I think that's only a good thing. And in the best teams and the more successful teams, you always demand from each other, and so that's something I quite like. I quite enjoy when we challenge each other to be better, and then, you know, we discuss it after the game and we move on, and we've definitely learned something from that outcome afterwards. And like I said, we'll try to be better as individuals, but also to try and help the team as much as possible.
Yeah, we saw hugging you with each other, so we hope that everything's fine. I have to ask you about this because there has been a lot of noise, a lot of speculation that Liverpool should aim for summer rebuild. And there's been a lot of speculation about midfield. So I was wondering if you feel that there needs to be more changes, or do you feel that you actually need maybe a bit break and then it's going to be better?
Yeah, I think people wish for certain different things and can point the blame at the certain different areas. As players, you know, I look at the squad and there's some outstanding players. Yes, I think the break will help, definitely, for some players. When you look at the amount of football a lot of the players have played over the last couple of seasons. And
yeah, we can say you, because you've had so much football, even on international duties. It must be tough, even mentally for you.
Yeah, I think, you know, especially after the World Cup, it was really a tough period for me personally for a good few weeks to, you know, all the energy that you've put into the World Cup, emotionally, physically, mentally, everything, to then switch back and just continue as normal was pretty difficult, and I think I wouldn't be the only person to admit that. So that was difficult, but yeah, I think there's a lot of other players that would have felt the same, that will feel as though they'll probably need a break come the end of the season and recharge and come back, and I'm sure they'll be ready to go again in pre-season. But at the same time, I understand there's players that will be leaving, whether that's on a free transfer or whatever that is. And then when that happens, you need to replace with new players, and it's always important to freshen things up, to bring new players into a squad, and hopefully, yes, of course, we can do that over the summer. That will freshen the team. But ultimately, there's still a lot of good things from the players and from the squad that we'll have here now.
When you've mentioned World Cup, I would like to ask you about your teammate from national team, Jude Bellingham, because I understand you might not want to go into much detail, but I would like to ask you if you can imagine playing alongside Jude next season.
What, for England?
in a Liverpool shirt, of course.
It's incredible to play alongside him for England, for sure. You know, he's an incredible talent, amazing player, amazing person, and yeah, the future is so bright for him and for England, and he's done so well at Dortmund. You know, I don't know what the future will hold for him in the next few years, but he's just got to concentrate on himself to keep improving, to keep trying to be better, and keep doing what he's been doing, because he's been incredible.